Привет всем! This is the third video for the project DGKK1, which is «Ходит наша бабушка» by Debra Haikina. So today we are reading lines 17 through 24. Before we start the lines we're doing today, we're going to read over the lines covered in the last two videos. Ходит наша бабушка, палочкой стуча. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. Выпишите лекарства, будешь ты здорова. Если будет горько, ну что же здесь такого? Ты потерпишь чуточку, а уедет врач. Мы с тобой на улице поиграем в мяч. Будем бегать, бабушка, прыгать высоко. Ну что же тут такого? Это так легко. The next 8 lines that we're doing today. Говорит мне бабушка, что мне доктора? Я не заболела, просто я стара. Просто очень старая, волосы седые, где-то потеряла я годы молодые. And now we're going to rewind to the first 4 lines of our new lines today. Говорит мне бабушка, что мне доктора? Я не заболела, просто я стара. And to the beginning of these lines, говорит мне бабушка. This is as good a time as any to remind you about sentence structure. By looking at the 3 words in this line, you have to understand how word order matters less in Russian. So говорит is the verb. It is conjugated for the third person singular, so he or she. It is in the present tense because it is an imperfective conjugated verb. Говорит means to talk or to say. The second word is мне, which is я, the pronoun, in the dative case. When it's in dative, it takes on an indirect object connotation in these sorts of situations. So, to me. We have this in English exactly like that, where we say I when we are the subject of the sentence and me when we are the object of the sentence. Мне here is the indirect object. Бабушка is the third word, meaning grandmother, which we have already learned. It is in the nominative case. Nothing has changed in it, and so we can safely assume that this is the subject of the sentence. Бабушка говорит мне. Grandmother says to me. The second line is что мне доктора? Before we talk about the meaning of this line, we're going to translate each piece. Что means what. Мне, as we saw in the previous line, means to me. Доктора is in the genitive singular because a doctor is an animate masculine object, so it takes the genitive singular. Don't worry if these words mean nothing to you if you are in group 1. You can just tune me out when I start talking nonsense like that, but stay with me afterwards. So, a doctor is a doctor, as you know, as is a врач. Both are correct. The meaning of this line is, what use is a doctor to me? Or to me, what is the use of a doctor? But you'll notice here we have no words for use, and that's because it's wrapped up with the dative case. When you say to me, you can imply lots of things. You can follow dative case pronouns such as this with feelings, with temperatures, with all sorts of things. And in this case, we've bypassed saying the use and just gone straight for доктора in the genitive, which in Russian is called родительный падеж. You'll see genitive case or родительный падеж used in Russian all the time. It is involved in these animate masculine direct objects. It's involved with possession, it's involved with negation, and sometimes it's used to just mean some of something. It's very common, so it's a good one to study thoroughly. The third line is Я не заболела. Я не заболела. Я means I and is the subject of the sentence. Не is a particle paired with verbs used for negation. Заболела is the past and it's feminine, which makes sense because she is our grandmother. And заболеть is the perfective form of болеть, which is to fall ill. There is some confusion and complexity surrounding болеть as a verb. If you have any questions about this, or if you would like to know more about болеть and заболеть, send us an email and we can send you our prepared PDF. The last line is Просто я стара. Просто is an adverb here, meaning simply. It comes from the adjective простой, meaning simple, which has as many uses in Russian as it does in English. It can mean common, plain, or easy, among others. Я, again, is I. Stara is a short adjective, meaning old. Our next 4 lines are Просто очень старая, волосы седые, где-то потеряла я, годы молодые. The first line, Просто очень старая, is a continuation of the line before it. And here you can see what a regular or longer adjective is compared to the short adjective. Here you see the ending for staraya, meaning old, as aya, whereas above you just see the a. There isn't a difference in meaning. One is just the short form of the other. Просто, again, is simply, and очень is very. A very good word to know, a very good word to add to your lexicon. The next line, волосы седые. Волосы are your hairs. It's plural. Волос is hair, but in Russian we don't talk about hair as one singular thing unless we're talking about a strand of hair. Седые is a special adjective meaning gray for hair. If you mean gray for a building or gray for the sky, you say серый. Седые in its singular masculine form is седой. By the way, the next line, где-то потеряла я. Где-то means somewhere. Где means where in terms of a location instead of a direction. Where in terms of direction is куда, which is different. But где-то is somewhere. So the to at the end is like adding some. But when you use to say somewhere, you mean somewhere but you've been there before or somewhere with a specific location. When you say где-нибудь, you mean anywhere or somewhere completely unknown. Потеряла is a past tense verb meaning lost, and я is the subject of the sentence. So somewhere I lost. Годы молодые. Годы literally means years, and молодые literally means young. So young years. So somewhere I lost my young years. So these 4 lines all together are Просто очень старая, волосы седые, где-то потеряла я, годы молодые. Simply very old, with gray hair, somewhere I've lost my young years. So all 8 lines that we did today are Говорит мне бабушка, что мне доктора, я не заболела, просто я стара. Просто очень старая, волосы седые, где-то потеряла я, годы молодые. And the whole poem so far. Ходит наша бабушка, палочкой стуча. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. Выпишите лекарства, будешь ты здорова. Если будет горько, ну что ж здесь такого? Ты потерпишь чуточку, а уедет врач. Мы с тобой на улице поиграем в мяч. Будем бегать, бабушка, прыгать высоко. Ну что же тут такого? Это так легко. Говорит мне бабушка, что мне доктора.
Я не заболела, просто я стара. Просто очень старая, волосы седые. Где-то потеряла я годы молодые.